Hello everyone, Phil here, and I'm from the AquascapeGuide.com. I don't know if you remember, but in a prior video, we got a care package from Fzone that included an auto top-off system, or ATO for short. Well, today's the day that we're gonna pop this kit open and get them all set up. Oh yeah, we're excited. But first, let's see what came in the box. I know it might sound funny, but I like how sturdy their packaging is. A strong package can prevent damage in shipping, and trust me, we've had our fair share of issues when shipping plants. But anywho, we're gonna pop this kit open and look at all this stuff. So what do we have here? A pump. This is what pushes the water from our reservoir into our tank or even a sump. It even has a little suction cup at the bottom so it'll stay put. That's pretty cool. Those suction cups also help with noise reduction when it turns on. Let's look at this kid. It says a 12 volt, 0.45 amp pump that can move 240 liters an hour. Hold on, let me ask Alexa. Alexa, what is 240 liters to gallons?
240 liters is about 63.4 gallons.
Hey, that's pretty powerful. And wait, look at this little thing. This must be the sensor. It's so cute. I love that it's green. I don't know why. I don't know what color I was expecting it to be. And on the other end of the sensor, there's a housing for connections. But one connection's to the pump and another is to the power source. And cool, the sensor connects to the tank's glass via magnets. That's gonna look fancy. This guy just pulls off and the glass goes between the two magnets. Snap. That's fun. All right, what else do we have here? Our standard issue power supply. Okay. Oh yeah, the manual. That's gonna help us later on down the road too. Hey, wait, there's more. Where's all this other stuff? It's gotta be hiding under this white thing. I'm going in. More goodies! Look at that. We got our tubing. This actually feels really nice. The tubing is kind of thick, firm, but flexible. See, this is why I like Fzone. Good quality at a fair price. Gotta love that. Now this is the tubing holder. More on that later. I wish that they could find a way to use magnets on these tube holders as well. Kind of like the sensor. That'd be dope. These housings can kind of be a little bit of an eyesore. But anyways, moving on. And we have a check valve. Now this guy's really important because if you don't have one on your water tubing, then the water can siphon out of your tank back into your reservoir or sump, causing flooding. We've had that happen to us. So it's super important we don't forget to add this. And it's awesome that Fzone includes one. All right, that's it. Glad we didn't overlook these goodies. This little system looks awesome. Now, let's get this kit installed. I was going to install this ATO on our Tropica grow-out tank, but we were hit with a blizzard recently that took out power for a few days and this tank went to poop. Super lame. I need to clean it up, but you know what? Let's install it on the Nano. Okay, now this is super overkill. I know, but hear me out. I hate having to top this thing off every morning due to 1, evaporation, and 2, my dang cat. He thinks this is his own personal water fountain. Now, ATOs generally go in the back, somewhere where you can't see them, but for teaching purposes, I'm gonna install it in the front. Okay, when clipping this sensor onto the glass, I'm going to want to put it as close to the top of the tank as possible. This sensor's gonna read the water line and tell the pump to turn on and off. Actually, let's take a second to explain how an ATO works. This ATO is comprised of 4 main elements. A reservoir, which holds your extra water. A pump, to pump the water back into your tank or sump when it's low. A check valve, so the water doesn't get siphoned back into the reservoir from your tank or sump. And a water level sensor, which tells the pump to turn on and off. Now there are many types of sensors, but I really like these optical ones. I've heard of mechanical sensors failing due to a snail pulling down a float, causing an aquarium to overfill. Now that sucks. Thanks, Stu. So these optical sensors prevent that. We just need to keep them clean if they're in a freshwater tank and salt-free if you install them on a saltwater tank. This unit is controlled by 2 optical sensors. There's a lower sensor and a higher sensor. The lower sensor tells the pump to turn on and fill up your tank. The higher sensor tells the pump that your tank or sump is going to overflow and turns it off. It's really that simple. What's cool about this sensor is it has an LED indicator on it that can tell us the status of the unit, but we'll get into that later. Okay, so now that we have the sensor in place, let's get the pump set up. The first thing we have to do is push the hose onto the end of the pump's nipple. Why are there so many nipples in all of my videos? Anywho, we'll push this bad boy on there and we'll toss the pump into the reservoir. I'm just going to use this little Tupperware as my reservoir for teaching purposes. Next is the housing for the water hose that connects to the tank. The hose needs to go through the side that has a channel for it. What will happen is we'll use this little knob to clamp down the hose, preventing it from slipping out. Just don't clamp it too tight as it'll restrict water flow. And we'll screw this other side onto the tank. Again, it would be dope if these could attach to the glass via magnets, but hey, that's more just for looks and this works fine. Unless you have a massive rim on your tank. Good luck with that. Okay, and we gotta make sure we don't forget our check valve. I got an ATO in the past that didn't come with a check valve, so it's really cool that Fzone put one in their kit. Love that. And it looks beefy too. It looks like it's not gonna fail on us in a month. So I'm gonna make a little cut here, and we'll install the check valve into the water tubing. Now I know it sounds like a no-brainer, but we wanna make sure the arrow is pointing towards the flow of water into the tank. If the check valve is backwards, the water won't be able to flow through it. I know, this is a rookie mistake, but hey, worth noting. I know I've had my fair share of installing check valves backwards. Now in the Fzone manual, they say that you should fill up the water line between the low and the high sensor before plugging it in and booting it up. So let's do that. And we'll power this kit up. If we look at the other end of the sensor, there's this electrical housing that has plugs for both power and pump. If I zoom in here, you can just barely see where it says pump on the right and power on the left. So I'll get that pump plugged in on the right. Then we'll take our power box and get that plugged into the wall, and we'll plug that into the left side for power. Now let's give it a test. If I remove some water, the sensor starts to blink and the pump turns on. You can see the sand kind of moving there in the front right of the tank. Yay! It works! As explained prior, the lower sensor can tell when the water level's low and sends a signal through the power housing to the pump asking it to kick on. And it pumps water through the water line into the tank. Fancy, huh? Now you never have to top off your tank. Okay, I'm gonna move this sensor in the water tube into the back and check that out. Okay, one more test. Take water out, LED blinks, and fills the tank up. Awesome, huh? We are good to go. Now look at that tricked out nano with an ATO. So what do these blinks mean? The manual says that an alternating blue and red light means the sensor's booting up. A solid blue light means it's in like a standby mode, ready to pump. A slow flashing blue light means it's filling up your tank or sump. A quick flashing blue light means it's trying to tell you that the water level's too high and you need to remove some water. And a red flashing light means there's an alarm. Fzone calls this alarm the QST alarm. It stands for Quick Security Technology. This thing is so smart, it can tell if it's been pumping for too long, and it'll turn off the pump to prevent flooding. That's pretty cool, huh? It can also detect if there's an issue with the sensor and or if the reservoir has gone empty, and it'll turn off the pump as well. The last thing you want to do is let your reservoir run dry, and the pump keeps pumping for hours while you're away, subsequently burning out your pump. So this QST technology is pretty cool. Okay, let's recap. We clip the sensor onto our tank at the height of our desired water level. We then take our tubing and push it through the housing, ensuring that the knob is tight enough not to pinch the tube but keep it in place. We then connect our water hose to the pump and put the pump in our reservoir. Make sure to add the check valve and ensure it's headed in the proper direction. We need to raise the water line first between the lower and higher sensor, then power everything on. Both the electrical plug and the pump need to be connected to the sensor's housing. We'll give it a second to boot up, and we are good to go. As soon as the water evaporates, or Mittens, our overly thirsty cat, decides he's parched and needs a drink out of our dang nano tank, the ATO will automatically fill up your tank, thus restoring your water level. Yay! And that's it for this video, you guys. Thanks for watching. Like always, reach out in the comment sections if you have any questions. And check out ASG's new forum on our website. You can also ask questions on there, and I can personally answer them. Pretty cool, huh? Alright, we'll be back soon with another video. For now, I need to get this Tropica grow-out tank cleaned up. Oh, you know what? Our ceramic diffuser got super nasty while we were gone due to the blizzard. I can show you guys a little trick that'll make it super easy to clean up a ceramic diffuser. I'm gonna go record that. Until next time, later, scapers!